And away we go. Hello and welcome to Movie Crap Live. Sorry I'm early but late because YouTube's streaming thing is weird. But I'm very happy to be here. Can I hear me? Sounds like I can. Hello. There we go. There we go. Thank you for the penultimate. I guess that's where we're at. Penultimate Movie Crap Live because next week's the last one. Pre-baby. Correct? So this is the penultimate one. But anyway, Austin, Cornbread, Bruce, Parker. You couldn't do Cool Runnings 2 now. K-Master, Mark, Perlo, Untitled Project. That's a good name. Sunspot Mill. Everybody. How is it going? Welcome to Movie Crap Live. It is a Friday night. Saturday night. Saturday night. I'm starting a little early because I was actually ready. And I'm doing something different. Hello, Nathaniel Fogg. I'm surprised to see you here. You're at a convention. Elwood DD. Everybody. I think it's going to be a good show tonight. I'm feeling good, Mark Perlo. How are you? I hope you are doing good also. So yeah, this is the... Hey, Rumham. Rumham, is that right? Anyway, yes, it is the penultimate. Should I show my face? I feel like I should. I usually wait for something, but I feel like I should just... I'm going to take a sip of water. Time is weird. True. Panovision. I like it. Oh, that's a good name. Hello, Will. How's it going, Adrian? How is it? I'm glad everyone's here. All right. I guess I will switch Elwood DD. All right. Let me switch over to the... Hello. How's it going? So, here we are. Whoa. What's going on? Okay. All right. Nattenbach 64 is here. Okay, let's get... So I have like a lot of monitors going on at once because I am actually, believe it or not, filming a time lapse of this Movie Crap Live, which I've wanted to do literally forever, and I never did it. Much like the Cleese the Fetus t-shirt, I did Cleese the Fetus t-shirt on Movie Crap Live last week. I'm doing the time lapse finally, which will be out this coming week, maybe Monday or Wednesday, something like that. It'll come out next week. So you can say that even though I'm only doing one segment tonight, hello, hell's a poppin', I'm actually doing two because we're filming one during the entire show. So that'll be cool. Yeah, so that's, I don't know. I've always just wanted to do one. I like doing time lapses. I know some people aren't as into them as me, but I think it's pretty cool. I don't know. I like doing them. And you can do them, and it's kind of neat. I just need to do a sunrise one. And then I don't know if I'll do another one after that. So he says. But anyway, so yeah, you'll see this next week. I thought it'd be a cool one to do, I don't know, just as a nice goodbye kind of thing. Oh, here we go. You heard of book reviewer Dominic Noble. He's good. No, I haven't. Oh, sorry, Ryan Walterson. Sorry. No, I haven't unboxed 64, but thank you for the first super chat of the night. Cheers to you. But maybe I'll check them out. Do they have a link? Are they on YouTube or something? I'm unaware of them, but Ryan seems to like them, so that's pretty good. As well as Bruce Parker. Let's see. This past week, okay, it's Dom. I will check Dominic Noble out. I like a good video, So, you have recommended me before? Okay, of course he has. Okay, you know what? And I'm not saying that like he definitely probably has, because Ryan knows everything. So, oh, I'm sorry. Is the baby might be coming around there on August 21st? Adrian. Hello, JJ Panda. So basically, yes, next week is the final regular Movie Crap Live for a little bit. I do not know when it's coming back. I'm not even sure fully. Whoa, what? I don't know what 10,000 CLP means. I'm going to assume that's not $10,000. If it is, thank you. I do not know what that means. Hello, Jordan Powers. But I will say, thank you. What is that I don't. I'm doing. I will figure that out later. But thank you very much, Laszlo1243. Hi, Jimmy boy. Salutations from Chile. Hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you. Cheers to you. I know. A long time ago, true story. I used to help this artist who lived around Times Square move stuff, and he actually had like an art. He always had art exhibitions near Times Square because more people who didn't usually see art would see them. And then he moved to. It's like $13. Thank you, little project. I think everyone is like it's $13. And he moved to Chile, and I do not know what happened to him. But I really liked working for him, and I'd come to his place and I'd help him move like sculptures because he was older, and then we talk about life and stuff. I really like that guy. I don't know what happened to him. That was cool. Anyway, that is my only connection to Chile. Hello, Sinram is here. But yeah, anyway, if you've always wanted to be on a Movie Crap Live, like in the chat, next week is probably it. I do not know if there'll be another stream sometime in 2021. There has been talk of that. I don't want to give a date because I don't want to disappoint you. So we're just going to leave it at where it is. As I think I will do regular streams again in 2022, but in 2021 I might do one or not, but I don't like to be definite if I'm not sure. So I think there will be, and if there'll be an announcement, but I don't know when, but I assume not August, September because of baby stuff. Because my son will be born, so that'll be interesting and fun, and I'm excited for just to have some family time for a little bit. Anyway, I will read every message in the chat. I probably will. I want to do a longer one, although we're going to the beach the next day, so this is gonna be an interesting one. But anyway, I'm also developing other stuff. I think you're gonna like this channel. Don't give up on this channel because I got some cool stuff coming. That's all I'm gonna say. The only thing I'll say before we start the regular show is, so I watched Hello Major Mekazawa and Purple Goop. I watched and Zane Powers, if I hadn't said that before. We watched Happy Feet recently, and that movie's insane. I'd never seen Happy Feet before, and I was like, what the fuck is this? It wasn't I was like, this, I totally makes sense. The guy made Fury Road, made Happy Feet, because it's all over the place. The camera's moving. A weird, zoo exhibition saves the Arctic. It's a wild movie. I had no clue what I was into with that shit, and Sophie really dug it. And then we had to watch Penguins of Madagascar. But I'll talk more about that because I think I have I have a question at the end to talk more about that. But let me get to Will's super chat. Will said, your Space Jam 2 review was truly no mercy, man. I listened to it while at work. I was trying so hard not to crack up at your comments. Oh, I like that. Okay. I thought... Cheers to you all. Thank you for that. If I can make someone laugh at work, it's all worth it. Oh, we family like the Fast and Furious with Corona. I actually drink Corona. That's my beer. So my life is totally just like a Fast and Furious movie. Cheers to you, Austin. Yeah, Happy Feet was fucking wild. I almost wanted to do a review of it, but at some point I want to review that because I don't know, people... That's one that I'm like, whoa, this is out there and crazy, and the camera's been all over the place. And you're like, yeah, George Miller is a crazy motherfucker. I don't know. There's very few people who can make a movie as insane as it. Because I gave Sophie two choices. I thought she'd watch Babe, which I have wanted to rewatch and watch it with her, and which is not directed by George Miller, but he produced it and was heavily involved in the production of the first one, and he directed the second one. So anyway, well, we're getting a lot of super chats tonight. Okay, Ryan Walterson said Space Jam 2 is an animated sequel set in cyberspace that featured IP owned by the same studio and has Sarah Silverman. In other words, the poor man's Ralph Breaks the Internet. Actually, we watched that because Sophie remembered it and doesn't remember seeing it in theaters despite being in the review of it. But cheers to you, Ryan Walterson. Thank you very much for the super chat. That's true. It is quite similar since I did watch those back to back. But Sophie now watched it for the princesses. When she was a little girl and watched it, she wanted to walk around the theater and sort of cared about the princesses. Now it's like the big deal. But cheers to you, Ryan Walterson. I do like Babe 2 more, and Babe 2 is actually directed by George Miller. Babe 1 isn't. I've seen that actually like incorrectly listed in some places. But anyway, here I'm going to the camera, the time lapse camera, which is the normal camera I film my reviews on, which this is a different camera, obviously, if you didn't know. I'm going to wave so you can match those up if you want to. I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying to, not sure what I'm doing. Do I have anything else to say? I don't think so. I mean, for small talk, not. Yeah, that's okay. I was gonna do this at the end, but I wasn't. So I'm not really good at doing this comment of the week thing. But one thing I want to do with the streams, and whenever I continue them as well, is notable comments I get, and sometimes I get kind of interesting ones. And this one was in my No Neck Joe video, which was a film made by Craig, which is a animated cartoon series made by Craig McCracken. You should watch that video. But one of the animators actually responded to my review, and here's what he said. Really enjoyed your close look at this series, and thanks for mentioning me. I'm Tim Hatcher, who animated a few episodes in the mid-90s. Craig had created very thorough storyboards and meticulous exposure sheets, so animating was pretty quick and painless, thankfully. So there we go. You learned something about No Neck Joe, and we got, I believe I pinned it because it's like, whoa, that's crazy. So check out my No Neck Joe video if you hadn't. It was just around Movie Crap Live. And one of the animators actually responded, which is nuts. Anyway, I just wanted to add that. E.G. Daly was, since her Rugrats co-star voiced Babe in the first one. I didn't realize they got a different Babe thing. That's interesting. Hello, M. Blood Tea. All right, whoa, my Google Doc just went down very fast. All right, let us get to the Patreon Discord part of the show as we do. Okay, this and everything I do, for the most part, is supported by you, the fans, either through super chats during the show, which you can do from Chilean pesos to Canadian dollars to American dollars. I'm all over the place. And Will just did a big super chat, which now I should read in the spirit of this, which I really should. Will said, yeah, seeing the first Happy Feet as a kid was so bizarre, just madness, including its odd few years later sequel, also directed by George Miller. Brad Pitt and Matt Damon cameo in the latter as Krill. It's wild. Well, why did you spoil that? However, I do want to see Happy Feet 2. I want to see all the there's two directors I really want to see all of their stuff, and I don't think anyone would want to see a review series necessarily, and it's George Miller and Steven Soderbergh. I'm very fascinated by both those guys. That's a very generous super chat. Thank you very much, Will. Cheers to you. That's interesting. Yeah, I wonder what that was like as a kid, because it moves so quickly. And you know what's funny? I'd never seen March of the Penguins, and we watched that Happy Feet and Penguins of Madagascar, and I realized I'm like watching all these penguin movies, and I'm missing an important part of the penguin cinematic language or whatever. But Happy Feet is like, it's also interesting. Happy Feet was clearly developed before there was a March of the Penguins, but then probably did better because of March of the Penguins. I was thinking about that, but I do not think March of the Penguins is directed like George Miller did Happy Feet, and that's also how he won his Oscar. But I can't imagine being a little kid and watching that in the theater, because it was intense watching it on HBO Max at home. It's just like, man. Cheers to you all. Thank you very much for that. Austin says Happy Feet is beyond Thunderdome. Well, in terms of time, it is beyond Thunderdome. In terms of quality, I'm going to go out on a limb here, Austin, and I think Happy Feet is better than Beyond Thunderdome. I'm just gonna say it. I think Happy Feet is better than Beyond Thunderdome, which is the worst Mad Max movie. But cheers to you. All right. Anyway, so this everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through super chats during the show or through my Patreon, which is linked below. You get all sorts of stuff like postcards, which I just mailed out and need to do a post of tomorrow night, or my commentary series, where I do commentaries on my own reviews and Knockforce videos. More power in the movie review vote, and that video is coming out this week, or at least the vote part is, as well as Skype calls and all sorts of cool stuff, exclusive stuff that you get, and you help support the show and help me get this computer and help me do all sorts of cool stuff with the channel this past year. And actually, as I'm not going to thank people regularly, like every week, and sponsors, and I will say it again next week, really thank you all so much for all the support I've been getting this past 2 years with this stream. I've pretty much done it. I've taken certain weeks off and so forth. And I know I've been taking more off because I got sick and everything with the baby and life and stuff. But I really thank you all for all your support, because I really, I don't know. I never thought I'd get to... I know I'm not the biggest channel, and I know I'm not swimming in YouTube money. I don't have like a studio. This is obviously like a corner in my living room. But I'm really thankful for everyone's support, and it really does mean a lot. Thank you all very much. It's really something I'm always like very appreciative of, and I'm just like blown away, because I used to be very nervous, like, oh, no one will ever do that for me, and it just makes me feel very nice. So thank you all very much. Anyway, let's read the super chat, and then don't worry, Discord. TuneJ723 says, I saw Happy Feet in theaters 3 times. Oh my god. Once with my sister, once as a school trip, and then a 3rd time with my mom because she heard it was good. Did you tell her? That's by that point, she's like, is it good? Apparently you know. You've seen it twice. Man. By the 3rd time, did you like understand the universe? I feel like if you saw that, oh my god. Someone play the Fury Road soundtrack and mix it with Happy Feet. I wonder if it would work. Anyway, cheers to you, TuneJ723. Clearly, I should review Happy Feet because everybody seems very nice with it. Well, thank you, Jordan Powers. That was very nice of you. Okay, also, the Discord. I want to bring this up for 2 reasons. One, if you want to connect with me while I'm not regularly streaming, it'll be a great way to do that. It's also a great way, like this community we see in the chat that's also very wonderful and supportive and nice people and everything like that, are there all the time. Pretty much everyone in the chat hangs out there, messages each other. They have watch-alongs, all sorts of fun stuff. There's the Ask Jim channel, which I try to update with regularly. I think at certain points in September I won't, but for the most part, but I do answer I don't think I've ever missed, or if I do, someone calls me out and I do answer it. Suggestions for Jim. There's the novelty playing card thing, which I can't do right now because these playing cards are still holding up. So sorry about that. I somehow managed to get the sturdiest playing cards that exist. I actually have a bunch of others I thought I'd be using at this point, but I'm not. But it's run amazingly well by Austin and Zane Powers, and thank you to both of them for doing an amazing job. It's a really great community, and you should definitely join. It's in the description down below as well. So if you like the chat in here, or if you always watch and you're like, hey, the chat sounds fun, it's there 24 hours a day. Jim Cord's lit. I like that. Oh, you watched the G.I. Joe movie last night? I'm assuming the animated one, because that one rules. Nathaniel Foga says, is Babe in the City beyond Thunderdome? Yes. Babe Pig in the City. Both Babe movies, I'd say, are better than Beyond Thunderdome's not. Well, George Miller only directed the action sequences. So you could argue, are the action sequences in Beyond Thunderdome better than those? Because I think someone else directed the not action sequence parts. And that would be a different discussion, because I do actually think the action sequences are rather good, but I don't think it's as a whole as good as Road Warrior or the first Mad Max or Fury Road. But yeah, Babe Pig in the Sea is probably better. Anyway, sorry. Cheers to you, Nathaniel Foga. Oh, judging by look at Mark Parlow here. Judging by your bookshelf, you know more of film history than any other standard movie reviewer. Oh, well, I guess so. Anyway. Yeah, I guess the standard. Okay, so let's get into the topics here, even though we've been going for a little bit, but it's still early, so that's good. Before we really get started, I am only doing one segment tonight. I am doing the time-lapsey thing. Again, hi time-lapse camera. So you're sort of getting two movie crap segments tonight. We'll put this in the short movie crap shorts. Is it shorts? Segments? Whatever they are. I'll put that in there. But just because the Master Universe, I have so much to say. Anything in terms of Kevin Smith and the marketing, I'm leaving for that segment. So if you're here, notice why I did not put it in the thumbnail, because it's going to be its own thing and its own separate video. So if you want to hear me talk about that, that will be later in the show, just to clarify. I don't want to talk about part of it and go back and forth and all that nonsense. Anyway, Rocket Duck 413 says, I guess we're going to be baby buddies. I'm literally due today. What? Oh, my girl's comfortable though she doesn't want to live. Okay, I was like, you're due today? Are you? Sorry, in my head, you're in someone's tummy, sending a super chat. I'm sorry. It's a weird image. Anyway, congratulations. I hope she's doing well. I hope you do well. Thank you very much for the super chat. I guess we are baby buddies. That's pretty cool. That is really cool. Congratulations, Rocky Duck 413. Let's get some good responses on the chat. Let's get some, huzzahs. And what is it like a W? Win? Anything? Anyway, that's very cool. I like that image though. Cheers to you, Rocket Duck 413. All right. Where are we going with this? That's very amazing. That's cool. So Space Jam 2, which continues, I think the last couple, Rocket Duck is Cletus confirmed. Nice, Ryan. Okay, so Space Jam, which continues to be in the thumbnail of the show, for the past 3 weeks or something, it continues because they've decided to not credit artists. Now, I'm going to say I've seen some of the artists. I did not get to write down all the artists that got sent to me by Ryan. If you want to put in others, that's fine. But in the chat, if you remember others, I know specifically Dave Alvarez seems to be the one who's getting the most attention for saying he always actually wanted to see his name at the credits at the end of the movie, which is of course he does. He worked on this movie. As well as I know the guy who designed the Daffy Duck as a NBA coach did not get credit. We keep getting reports of this. And I do know, for example, right now in Hollywood, we keep seeing this thing where films are sort of being rushed because of special effects and things like that, and because they're going to streaming services, and then they're sort of being fixed later on the down low. Usually when it goes to theaters, they do tweaks and add people to credits and things like that. Then when it gets on home video or streaming, it has all those things. I'm wondering if there's more things in there, more people who weren't credited because of that. I'm hoping, but it just sucks that I don't know if they signed some sort of contract we'll pay you extra and you're not credited, and I don't know any of that, but in my mind you should properly credit people, and you should, to me it's that's an easy fix at the end of the credits, and you should just apologize and say, hey, somehow this happened, we really screwed up, and we're going to fix it right now. We're going to fix it right now. And to me, that's what you do. I've run into those issues. I ran into those issues once, way back, and, I fixed it right away. And you just fix it in my mind. So I think that's really unfortunate, because they were really excited, or you should at least let them know. I wish they'd said, hey, we're going to take care of this. It's our fault or something. Clearly they don't have anyone who's checking these things. I just find it unfortunate that this is happening. It happened with Sausage Party, with unfair pay and not crediting, and Space Jam. We're also getting it. And that's kind of a big corporate movie. So I think if you're going to have a big corporate movie, you should, credit people correctly. So it's just really unfortunate, especially something like Looney Tunes, where people, although the C.H. Greenblatt stuff is amazing, and anyone who works on that seems to be riding high off of the buzz from that, it does sort of hurt these animators when if they are looking for their names. I know most people use IMDb, and I'm assuming they're still credited on that, but it's still it's still humiliating, especially he wants his kids to see his name and it's not there, and I'm sure you can show them the drawings that he did it and they know he did it, but just come on, just fix your shit, Warner Brothers. I find it really insulting and mean. It's just not something that should be going on. Zane Powers says, "Don't you miss when celebrities were above the law?" I think they probably still are, Zane Powers. Don't worry, they'll never stop. Cheers to you. If they're rich, you're above the law, I assume. The director of the original Space Jam, and also the director of the Nike commercials, which Space Jam was based on. He where's my he yeah okay everything's falling apart. He said he doesn't really like the new Space Jam. It took him about five. Says it took him about 5 times to watch the movie. He says like LeBron is no Michael, all that stuff. But basically, yeah, sure. It's just like, I don't know why he needed to say that. Can't you just be like, hey, oh, cool, they're still making a, Space Jam. That's always fun and stuff, and just sort of leave it at that. I thought that was a little unnecessary. Not saying Space Jam 2 was a good movie, since I didn't give it a good review and was pretty mean to it, but I think he could have, I don't know, handled that better. I didn't think that was necessary, but he came out and basically didn't like it and said, I don't think it's as good as the original, but they're not like high art or anything. I do like his commercials though, and he is the one who kind of like helped come up with and direct the concept. So, I get it, but to me, it's like he didn't need to come out so quickly, but I guess he was asked and he did that. So, sorry, we're gonna do a bunch of quick Marvel things in a row. Right now, and I think the biggest Marvel story of the week, I guess. Someone Nat Box 4 isn't Joe Picta a has-been. I would say he's older. I think he's retired, and he is actually, I think, one of the most DJ-nominated commercial directors in ever, basically. So I think it's less of like washed up and more of just like, apparently he's very rich. So I think I think he's fine. It's less washed up and more just like, I'm rich and tired. I don't know, kind of thing. Anyway, so these are all the Marvel news kind of in a row, and some are really interesting and some are more interesting than you might initially think. But first off, the director of Blade was chosen this week. The director of this film called Mowgli. His name is Bassam Tariq, I believe. And he has been selected. This film, Mowgli, has not been released. He's directed a couple of features, some of them on Netflix. He was selected to direct Blade. But before we get to that, I have a super chat from the notification. It says, did you watch the other Fear Street movies? I love them. I have not watched the other two. I would like to. I just haven't. So I plan to at some point. People seem to like them. Anyway, cheers to you. The notification. Thank you for that super chat. All right. So my thing with this is, I know that Blade was a highly sought after gig, and there are a lot of specifically black directors who were being sought after, and that's what was being reported, at least. And DC had a similar list for what they wanted for the Black Superman film. Now, I don't know how much of the Black Superman film everyone's read, that the script is not supposed to be in until December. So I don't know how true that was. This guy kind of comes out of nowhere. I don't remember reading, like, it seemed kind of an odd choice, and it does, like, I think I saw it on Twitter, and what most people say about Marvel is they basically like bring a director in, everything's like pre-visualized or previs is what it's called, and they don't give them very much of a choice. They don't get much power. Now, I think we have two examples of that. Is like when you have someone like Ryan Coogler or James Gunn come in, they have a little more power. Particularly Ryan Coogler, I think probably more power than a lot of directors coming in, because he had just had a major hit with Creed. So he could, ask for script changes, ask for revisions. He probably has a good agent, all those things. When you get a smaller director, like what with John Watts, he had like Cop Car and Clown, he has like no power in the room whatsoever. And I get the feeling about Bassam Tariq, the same issue, where he feels like a director who Marvel's like, we want this to be this, this, and this. I know Mahershala Ali has a lot of power with this film, from what's been reported at least. And maybe he liked this director, and they said, fine, you can have your indie director, but we want our sequences to be the way they are, and that's what you get with this. I'm a little disappointed they didn't get, like, I would have gone with the guy who did the Vampires versus the Bronx. I think he would have been an obvious choice, but I think that would have been cool. I just don't think this was a great choice. Or it's Basim Tariq. Why? Wait, that's weird. I like directly copied it, but then if you look at, that's interesting. Okay. If you look at the URL and the deadline thing, it says Basin Tariq, but then if you look on the thing, it says Basum Tariq. What's up with that? That's interesting. I wonder. It's probably just a simple error, but it's just interesting. But I just feel like he sounds like someone who's going to get pushed around, because he's like not, unless like Mogul Mowgli becomes like a major hit and gets all these Oscars and stuff like that, they'll have to listen to him to a certain degree. But like, it sounds like someone who's just going to get pushed around. I don't know who else was being considered, because we just heard like, oh, Barry Jenkins is up for both, and like any other, certain black directors you can think of would be up for both. But I don't know. Or what was that time travel thing I watched? Damn it, it was good too. It's two kids in Brooklyn, and Spike Lee produced it, and that when Michael J. Fox has a cameo. That's like in the first 2 minutes, so I'm not spoiling anything. And he talked about it publicly because he injured himself, not on set, but on his way to set or something. But yeah, there's just like plenty. I actually don't know if that director's playing. Well, they could do an action movie, so I don't know why they didn't. Just such a weird choice. Like, I don't know this director, I will say, but it's just such an interesting choice with a film that was being sought after to such a degree that they did pick someone who had no real name and no real power. I'm curious what the purpose of that was. And to me, it seems like the cynical thing that Marvel picks these smaller directors because they can sort of get what they want, basically, and get a movie that's at least semi-good based on like how their own studio works. But then at the same time, it's like, see you yesterday. Thank you, Sinram. I don't know. I just feel like there could be more. There could have been more done. There's probably a better choice, but I don't know the script. I was thinking that today. Like, we talk about these things. We're like, is that a good movie? I'm like, well, you don't know what the script's going to be. So maybe it'll work, but it just seems like a choice that Marvel can, kind of call the shot. So I hope that's not true. But, it feels like with John Watts, from everything I've read, that's sort of what happened. So we'll see. Although that was like 2 studios. So I think like if you're a director coming in with 2 studios and you're a new director, you're fucked. Anyway, so in other news, let's just do this casting news, then I'll talk about the other thing. Michaela Coe, who is in I May Destroy You, it was cast in Black Panther 2. We don't know why, like what part. I shouldn't have said why. We don't know what part she's been cast. And at first, everyone was like, she's Storm, and I was kind of like, guys, like, there's more than like 2 or 3 black people in the Marvel Universe. You don't have to go Storm automatically. And I was kind of like, that's a little lame. Like, we're just going to say Storm. It's like, that's a little pathetic right there. But then I went, then I kept reading from other movie news people, and they would go, well, the thing is Black Panther 2 is at such a disadvantage without Chadwick Boseman. It's pushing like an uphill battle basically the entire time. It's really difficult for this movie. It needs to make like $1 billion and stuff like that. Wouldn't it make sense to have Storm in this? Like, could it have been like they want to introduce the X-Men later, but Ryan Coogler was like, well, I want to have Storm now if I can't have, since I can't have Ryan Coogler, and maybe Marvel was like, all right, cool, and why don't you cast her and everything like that. So in that, I'm like, I don't think when you really think about the logistics of what's going on, it doesn't seem as crazy. We don't know who she's playing, to be clear. It could not be Storm. I think most likely it isn't, but it's not the craziest theory is what I'm saying. It's not insane that they would go, well, we sort of do need somebody. You know what I mean? So I think she would be good as Storm, but at the same time, we don't know. We don't know. It's sort of, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. It really wouldn't. And the fact that serious movie press people who normally would like laugh this off are like, it's not the stupidest theory when you really think about it. And it's like, yeah, you got a point. So this was kind of one of the more interesting things. So Marvel, one of the big Marvel executives is going to be given basically, and Marvel is going to be given a subsidiary just for animated films. So basically what we're going to see is Marvel's going to have its own animation studio, similar to what happened with What If. They're going to keep making like smaller animated things. They didn't mention MODOK because that was made by another studio and stuff, and we don't know what these other projects will be. But I'm really curious. Like, one, I hope they use different animation styles. That style in What If kind of sucks, so I hope they don't keep doing that. I think this is actually really cool. This is really cool news. We could see some interesting projects that wouldn't really work in live action. Like Howard the Duck would be really great. Hello, Modelo Butterfly. Sorry. I think would be really great, actually. I think that would be a really cool touch if we got more Marvel animated things. And I'm curious what those will be. If they will do them in different styles, I hope to God it is, because again, I really don't I like the idea of What If. I don't like the style in it. I think we could see something rather cool with Marvel animation. If it's more like MODOK and things like that. But I know that but I think this will be separate because the other Marvel animated stuff is done by like various Disney departments. Will be directly done by Feige's acolytes and things like that. So I think that could actually be really cool. We'll see what goes on with that. We just know they're doing this. We don't have any projects announced as of yet. Let me take a swig of Red Bull. Feeling a little sleepy. I would like to get through this whole show. Oh, we do. What you got against the live action Howard the Duck? I like the live action Howard the Duck, but I think the character works better in animation. Cheers to using powers. Thank you for that. All right. The other thing, as Black Widow had a pretty steep decline in week 2, which a lot of movies are right now, and actually the biggest, I think, second week decline in MCU history, NATO, not the theater owners, not the other one, wrote a letter basically upset at Marvel and DC's idea to make the kind of day and date or the premiere access thing and how it's hurt the numbers and so forth. Some people have debated that. I don't know if Black Widow was ever going to be a $1 billion movie. Maybe it would have, especially because we haven't done that. Austin said she could be Misty Knight. That's true. She could be. I like that. It's true. Cheers to you, Austin. Man, we killed a Red Bull already. But NATO's talking some shit, but a lot of people have also pointed out that Disney did not release numbers for Disney Plus and Premier Access the second week. They were like, we made $60 million, which apparently someone tabulated the numbers since it's $30 would be about 2 million people. And we don't know how much it made the second weekend, which is interesting. I'm curious what we're going to see with this and Disney and what's going to happen. It doesn't seem like theaters are opening because, we have the Delta variant. We have various things going on right now with coronavirus. It's not really over, and I think I haven't returned to theaters. I know a lot of people are nervous about that right now, and I think we're going to continue to keep seeing that. Really, it is scary and everything like that, but I just don't think we're theater wise it's back to normal, and I think Disney knows that. I know they're upset, the theater owners, but we're going to see I think we'll see a lot of theater closures in the next couple of years because it's just financially the business is not in the same place it used to be, and they're sort of fighting an uphill battle at this point. All right, so in DC news, we have 2 DC things. I've organized these in a certain way and all that stuff. This is dead. Okay, we got the Batgirl casting. This Batgirl thing is going to HBO Max. It is not coming out in theaters. It is going direct to HBO Max. We knew they were casting people, and they cast Leslie Grace, who was in The Heights recently, which was her first film. Um, I think she'll be good. It wasn't a casting choice that made me go, "Oh wow, that's going to be really great." I also, don't know the script. I don't know what the script is. So maybe based on who they auditioned, she was the best one. I'm a little surprised. I think Isabella Moner, who I know is like really close with Paramount, which I have to say is like a. I don't know why Disney hasn't bought her up. She's very talented, and almost everyone thinks she is a great actress, and has a lot of star potential. And I'm a little surprised she isn't in bigger things, because I do think she's really compelling. Even before I saw Dora recently, I know movie press people are always talking about how great she is, and how she'll be great being taken care of at Paramount, but Paramount's such a lousy studio at this point. Like, I feel like Batgirl would have been a good chance for her, but they did not cast her in it. I'm excited for Batgirl in general because Sophie's a big Batgirl fan. There is not a lot of Batgirl merchandise. Like, she has the doll from Superhero Girls and a little figure, which took me forever to find at MomoCon. But there really isn't a lot of stuff. And I think with this HBO Max thing, maybe they'd make like a ton of Batgirl stuff. It's like one of those things that everybody keeps saying, like, that everybody keeps saying that there's a ton of Batgirl stuff and she's this beloved character. But anytime I've talked to someone about it, they're like, I think she's well known, but there isn't a lot of stuff of her. So I'm hoping that changes. And I'm excited to watch this with Sophie. I think it'll be cool as long as it's age appropriate. But we'll see when they actually make that. And we have a super chat open the second Red Bull, which I definitely need right now. And you should have a coffee. Although I already had one tonight. Hello, Beta Wave. From Sinram said Amelia Clark announced on Jimmy Fallon that she will be in the Secret Invasion series. Does that make it official? Makes it official to me. Sinram, cheers to you. We also found out. Wow. Yes, Joss Whedon was supposed to do the Batgirl movie, but he is long since gone, I believe. That Michael B. Jordan is producing a Val Zod limited series for HBO Max, potentially going to star in, not officially confirmed, which means I don't think they have a full script or something. That's pretty interesting. I'm curious why he's doing a limited series and not the movie, and what the difference is, and what I'm curious about the logistics of the whole thing, because like, why wouldn't you want to do the Ta-Nehisi Coates script? Why would you want to do the limited series? What does this take have that didn't? I'm curious about that, but we'll see what's going on there. But it's interesting. I think it'll be a cool role for him if he can. Hello, Olive. Hold on. We have Olive here. And I see, hold on. I see your super chat, St. Powers. Don't worry. Hold on. I want to see what I'm doing. This is my cat, Olive. Hi. Say hi. You okay? Well, your heart's beating fast. Do you want to hang out? Okay, you can sit here. Zane Power says, you think Batgirl merch is bad? Poor Batwoman. True. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. But yeah, we'll see what's going to happen with, oh, you're purring. That's nice. Thank you. But yeah, oh, hi, Mail Tears. I think there's potential there, but I am a little curious, like, what is it about the script that he wants to potentially star in, or is he just like producing it and kind of being like, hey, I'm interested in WB, I'm curious about all the things. With that, hello, Catbot. All right, so the Dune trailer. The thing with the Dune trailer, I thought was actually really good. It's the first one that made me go, oh, I think you could get people to actually see this movie. I really did. Like, it felt like a commercial trailer. Thing is like, that release date, October 22nd, is not a good release date for a movie like that. Like, I refuse to believe this movie's going to make money on that release date. Like, it's a bad one. I know it's going to be on HBO Max first, or at the same time, sorry. I just like, and people are like, no, you really need to see it in IMAX, and people will for the immersive experience and all that stuff. But I don't think, I think at that point, like, things could get worse for the Delta variant, and that Thank you, Nanbox64. Saw that NATO didn't comment on the Delta variant. You are true. You are correct. Cheers to you. That was a weird slip there. They did not. I did notice that as well. Thank you for reminding me, Nanbox64. But it was a good trailer. I think it's the best trailer so far. Olive, what are you doing? It's being a little crazy today. Oh, she's walking all over the place. What are you doing? Get. You're not going to listen to me. All right. It was a good trailer. It made it look like worth it if you were able to see in IMAX, and I was going to theaters. I would actually pay extra to see it in a big screen. So I think that will help it. I just think, like, put this out around Thanksgiving, guys. Like, please, dear God. Like, it's like you're not making Joker money with this shit. That was an anomaly. October is not $100 million. Like, nothing's made $100 million in a weekend. Like, this is not going to, but at least around Thanksgiving, you had, like, a fucking chance. Like, Jesus. Like, I know things are different, but, like, and release dates are different, but, like, I'm sorry. Like, this is just, unless things are better and you have a Thanksgiving holiday, and I don't think there's too much that's, like, fighting you. You would at least have a chance, but, like, I don't know. I'm not against this movie. It looks cool. It looks really cool. I'm like, I bet that's a good movie. It's just like people acting like this thing's gonna make $1 billion are like, I don't get it. I've been mystified this whole time because I think people are like, well, we deserve it. I'm like, that's not how box office works, guys. I don't know. See a really good art movie and be disappointed. Olive, stop clicking on that mouse. Okay, you know what? You're getting down. Yeah, you're getting down because you keep clicking on that mouse over there. It's gonna like mess something up. All right. But what are you doing? This cat, guys. This cat. All right. Chris Stuckmann released his second video in his trilogy of videos, moving forward, talking about his channel, what he's doing, and what he will continue to do for his channel. And this is kind of a segment on a trend that's going on in criticism and what he did, and they seem to be interconnected. I don't blame him for this. I don't think he like caused this. It seems to be a position artistically he's taking for himself. But it is a thing I've been hearing people talk about a lot as well, which is I'm sort of talking about them both at the same time. He's basically said he's still going to make videos. He doesn't want to do negative reviews anymore because he's a filmmaker and he wants to make more positive things. Ryan Walsh said, I'll chuckle if Jackass makes more money than Dune. Prepare to laugh, Ryan Walcherson. Cheers to you. Basically saying he only wants to make positive things and like recommend things to people. Like The Empty Man was a film he quite liked. And then I think it was the director reached out. You should watch this. I'm very much just remembering a video I watched like 5 days ago. But he was talking about doing more positive stuff. He doesn't want to do negative things because it takes so long to make movies and blah, blah. I've heard this a million times from other people before. But that's his personal choice and what he wants to do with his channel. And I get it. That's fine. For him, more or less, he's like sort of become a different critic now because he's making movies, and again, that's fine. Most people just give up on it, but I'm sure when he most critics just give up, but I think because he's probably making money and stuff and he doesn't want to stop, no offense, but I get it, man. So he's going to make a third one, which is about a personal change. I'm curious about that one actually, but I'm not just here to talk gossip about another YouTuber. I have noticed this trend of people like I've heard other critics talk about it. It's like out of vogue to give negative reviews, and it's more in vogue to do positive reviews, be positive about film in general. Now, I actually think if Stuckmann, who I would venture to say he's not part of like the whole like critic grind, like he's not going to talk about like a Marvel movie if he doesn't want to anymore or something like that. He doesn't have to, and that's his right. It's fine. He kind of has addressed it flat out. I've noticed a lot of critics aren't doing that, and I do think there's a lot of people who are overly positive about every movie, And I don't personally agree with that. And I think it is probably not how criticism should work, because criticism should be a variety of opinions. And, I feel bad if I do too many positive things or too many negative reviews in a row. I almost like want to, like, I don't see a movie and go, I'm going to hate you because I've done too many positive things. But I like to have a variety, and I think criticism should be a variety of things. And the fact that I have noticed, like, people are, in the past year, because of coronavirus, people are accepting things, being more positive about films in general, which you wouldn't have seen pre-COVID. I find that to be really unfortunate that it's becoming now a trend and people don't want to be necessarily negative. I think if you feel, you should be honest about your experience. And I have noticed people feel like they're not going as negative as they used to. Some of the times people can go too far. Maybe I've gone too far. I don't feel like I have. There's other people who definitely go too far. But the fact is criticism really should be more personal about your own experience with a movie and talk about it. If you really feel angry at it, you should. And maybe because of what's going on in coronavirus and everything like that, we feel that with the reaction is because the world's so overwhelming and stuff, just watching a movie is a positive event in itself. And it's like, yeah, sure, fine. But I just find it to be, if you're just doing positive to be positive, I don't, I think it's the same thing as when people are overly negative all the time. I don't take them very seriously, because it's just like, they're just overly, you just kind of know what their opinion is going to be at all times. It's not surprising. It's not interesting. They're not giving you new nuances. And I find it really disappointing that I keep hearing about that it's like people don't feel safe putting out negative reviews anymore. I've heard that a couple times about things like that. So I just find it to be, I find that to be disappointing. I hope this trend doesn't continue. I wish Chris Stuckman the best. I'm really curious what this end thing in his trilogy is going to be. I will say he's also good at talking, but so his storytime videos are fairly good. I'm not still the biggest fan, but Zane Power says, what about Doug Walker's negative reviews? Well, Doug Walker is in a class himself. Someone says, what about your Trolls review? Well, that was totally warranted. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. Nattenbox64 says, I would like watching a negative review, but I'd rather see it be honest than just be an exaggeration. Yeah, that's true. Okay. There's a poster for Jordan Peele's new film, Nope, which is coming out in about a year or so. It looks cool. It's just like a cloud and some like of that tape you see at a carnival with flags on it. I know it's Keke Palmer, Daniel Kaluuya, and Steven Yeun are in it. Who knows what it's about? Nope is a cool title. I feel like we're not going to get a trailer till potentially maybe the end of the year. Probably not till next year. So we won't know what it's about. I've heard people deciphering it and they're like, is it aliens? What's that town in the background? Maybe the cloud is this. Clearly, it is about... I'm going to spoil all of Nope for you. So I haven't read the script and I'm literally making nonsense up. But in case what I'm just literally just making up just now and just came up with, I'm just going to give it out. Okay, so basically their consciousness goes into clouds and they go and they rain on people. And then people are like, oh no, rain. Nope. Okay, that was terrible. I'm so sorry. All right, anyway, Adventure Time Distant Lands is going to do apparently going to do a thing called Wizard City. We saw at least an announcement poster. We didn't see anything other than that, but I'm glad that they announced it. I'm excited for more Adventure Time Distant Lands, and it looks kind of cool. Okay. Oh. Nope is about Katie Holmes' fart clouds. You know what? I think we're done. That was a pretty good Bruce Parker. All right. Well, Will says, ironically, I've gone the opposite route where I have become more jaded. Don't think there's been a movie I've flat out loved so far this year. Actually, I would say from talking, I would say that's accurate with you, Will. Sorry. Oh man, you really hated that bodyguard thing. Uh, yeah, I kind of feel that way too, actually. Although I've liked like Fast Nine and stuff, but Cruella, am I right? All right, cheers to you, Will. Cheers, cheers for being more jaded. Mm. All right, so we also got Daily Dunkaccino is shutting down because of a failed Alf YouTuber Salty DK Dan, who I thought was an Alf YouTuber but sold out. Something to do with his friends and Pokemon. I don't know. I've never watched him, but he should definitely be reviewing Alf instead of wasting his life, presumably. And he's shutting down Daily Dunkaccino because the overwhelming failure of not making enough Alf videos has eaten away at his soul. But thankfully, Defunctland has made a video about Daily Dunkaccino, and it was amazing. And if anyone can get Defunctland to make someone posted recently a comment on Defunctland like, "Can Defunctland make a video about my parents' marriage?" That was really funny, and I want that to happen. But it was really good. You should watch it out. Anyway, it just Salty's a nice guy. It's just like I really wish eventually he should make one of those. Should make an Alf review. He's just one of the biggest failures in Alf criticism I think ever. So you can tell him I said that. Oh, Psycho Gorman is amazing. I think my Psycho Gorman's still in my top films of the year. All right. Where are we? Oh, Clerks 3. We got a bunch of Clerks 3 news. Remember when we thought maybe Clerks 3 will happen? Well, apparently it is happening full tilt, probably because Kevin Smith has a little more publicity on him. So, of course, I don't know. But it was announced that Lionsgate, who previously worked with him on Dogma, he actually had the highest grossing Lionsgate film for a significant amount of time. I think it was like 5 years until Fahrenheit 9/11. And then he kept saying, "Oh, and then in Twilight took us off the map." And I'm like, "But I thought Fahrenheit, whatever." That used to be if your film wouldn't get released by Miramax, you went to Lionsgate back in the day. But yeah, it's going to be released by Lionsgate. It's about Dante has a heart attack and then wants to make a film showing his life at the Quick Stop, which it's not a bad concept. I gotta say, not a bad concept. I will be reviewing Clerks 2 semi soon. I need to watch Jersey Girl. But he went to the Quick Stop and at a production meeting. It was interesting seeing from Twitter what the Quick Stop looked like now. Guess what? It looks like a convenience store. But it is interesting seeing what's changed. Sorry, that makes me laugh for some reason. Okay. But it's interesting that it does seem like it is really happening. Okay, I do have a pretty long trailers and stuff. But we have another one from Will. Said positive reviews are all the rage now, Jim, because no one saw Infinite on Paramount Plus besides me. That would destroy anyone's faith in the film. I like that. Not only did Will was like jaded, I'm like, oh yeah, you're totally jaded by the film. You doubled down on like, but here's also why I'm jaded. The movie that did it, and none of you saw it. Nice. Cheers to you. Now, should I see Infinite? Or should I see Snake Eyes? Oh, I have a Snake Eyes theory for you, for everyone. What I find most interesting about Snake Eyes comes out the same weekend as Master Universe. Basically, like my toy shelf is my toy shelf in like 1988 is like at the top of entertainment again. Because millennials cannot shut the fuck up about their stupid childhoods. Like it's like so unique. Nobody cares, but whatever. But would Snake Eyes be far more controversial with the whole like Snake Eyes talks thing if Masters of the Universe hadn't sucked the air out of the room in terms of controversy and all that stuff? I'm really curious if that is true, but I'm not gonna do Jane Silent Bob Go Canadian A. Anyway. Let's do trailers and stuff. So, in terms of... Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the title. I'm like, what was that? First off, trailers. We have two for Paramount Plus. One was Star Trek Prodigy. It is a Nickelodeon show with Star Trek. It actually looks kind of cool, like maybe not just a little kid Nickelodeon show, like maybe an older kid thing. I could see if I was a kid, I'd be sort of into it. It sort of looks like a young adult Star Trek sort of thing. There was Harper House that's going to be on Paramount Plus. I didn't finish the trailer because it just looks like, haha, we're an adult animated comedy, and I got bored. The demonic trailer. This is a trailer for the new film from Neil Blomkamp. It is his kind of, is it his first film since Chappie? Man, Chappie's, I think, how I got on the POS podcast back in the day. So it's been a bit. But yeah, he's back with this film. It looks kind of cool about like virtual reality, like going into someone's mind who's been possessed by the devil through virtual reality. That looks interesting, at least. Seems like up his wheelhouse. I actually I'm a little curious about this one. I know it was confused with the Malignant trailer. I thought this looked better than the Malignant trailer. The Malignant trailer, was that someone gets possessed or something? God, I forget. And I watched it. Is someone? I forgot. Whatever. Demonic clearly stood out because I can't even remember the Malignant trailer. Sorry, James Wan. I heard it was bad. I heard like people were laughing at the Malignant thing. But Demonic, like, I'm like, I could see that maybe work. It's kind of interesting. The Jackass Forever trailer, yeah, it is sad to see. I've heard people said they got emotional at that. That actually looks like kind of like just a fun, good time. Eric Andre's in it. Seeing them all older. I like when Steve was like, if you get a head injury after 50, it's, big trouble. But, Johnny's 49, so we're okay. That was good. That was good. I enjoyed that. That was funny. All right, what was the other thing? Oh God, Diane Wood. It's the girl's not the problem. It's like if it was just the girl, I feel like they would be fine. It's just that guy. There's a trailer for Blade Runner Black Lotus. Although I do want more stuff in the Blade Runner universe, the animation style is fucking ugly. Just like I wanted more. I like those animated shorts that came out to explain the world that had happened between the first Blade Runner and the second as a promotional campaign. Those were great. I kind of want more stuff that shows different style. I didn't love the style, but it seemed like a cool idea. We got a very short trailer for Smurfs, which is going to be on Paramount Plus and Nickelodeon. It doesn't really show you much other than they're going to be there. Nickelodeon, I've noticed, is really hyping up all these brands for the Paramount Plus thing. Part of me thinks Paramount Plus, they have more faith in than like Peacock and Universal because they're not selling off their other things. What else? Oh, The Last Duel. The Last Duel trailer, I think, was kind of one of the big trailers with Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Adam Driver, and is it Amy Comer? Anyway, it looks interesting. I don't think it looks like amazing or anything, but it looks interesting. The haircuts with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were like, what? That was weird, but it looks like an interesting movie. It looks like something that could get into interesting elements with with Ridley Scott. I'm curious what they're going to do with that. That's kind of been the big hyped up movie from Disney and everything with 20th Century Fox, which they're kind of branding things more with, which we saw on Vacation Friends this week. They actually had the branding with 20th Century Studios, I think. And that's going, I think, like straight to Hulu with John Cena and a lady whose name I don't know, kind of going after, what's his name? Lil Ray Howery, with someone from Insecure, and these like vacation friends who follow them everywhere and stuff like that. That looks like it could actually be sort of fun. And Zane Powers says die Antwood or die Fartwood. Nice. Cheers to you. We got the Chippendale Park Life trailer. That looks cool, kind of in the vein of the Mickey Mouse stuff. That's Disney's also producing. We got not a trailer for Vivo, but a song from Vivo, which I guess shows a trailer. It's like a Lin-Manuel kind of song. I thought it was really cool. I'm excited for Vivo. Actually, that made me more hyped from it than what I'd seen so far. We got a quick Legends of the Hidden Temple CW thing, which that actually looked kind of cool. And finally, and this is the last of the trailers and stuff, LeVar Burton is going to be hosting Jeopardy starting Monday. Set your DVRs. I'm going to try to watch it. I'm excited to watch him do that. Hold on. I'm going to stop the time lapse and restart it because otherwise it'll be like 30 seconds. There's some of me setting up also. So you get me setting up and then the whole screen will be time lapse. So anyway, just to explain how we do that. So apparently the Mitchells versus the Machines was watched 53 million different Netflix members household, becoming the most watched. Oh, holy shit. I saw 2 super chats there. Becoming the most watched animated thing in Netflix history. But here we go. We have 2 super chats. Nattenbox64 saw the 20th Century logo on the top of the title for Vacations Friends, which I thought was rather weird to see for an R-rated movie. That is rather weird. Yeah, I'm curious, like, what is Disney doing with that branding? And I guess this is what they do, but it's weird. Cheers to you, Nattenbox64. And Will said, Blomkamp was actually slated to direct Greenland from last year at some point. Curious if he was still attached, if that ever would have come out. Did Greenland come out? Oh, I see what you're saying. Sorry. Let me read that again. Blomkamp was actually slated to direct Greenland from last year at some point. Curious if he was still attached, if that ever would have come out. Yeah, that's true. Maybe it wouldn't have. Maybe it wouldn't have. That's a good point. It's a good point. It's a good point, Will. Cheers to you. All right. What I talked about last week with the Netflix video game thing is actually happening. Apparently, they are doing the add-on thing. I am curious what this is going to be and how they're going to do it, how they're going to implement it. I think Netflix apparently does want to become the everything streaming service. They want to have everything. They want to have so many different entertainment options. They want to be the huge, massive brand, and this continues that. It makes sense because, as again I've said, Netflix executives have said their biggest competition is not HBO Max, Amazon Prime, whatever, what have you, is Twitch streamers or people playing Minecraft or stuff like that, and they are looking at that and going like, well, this is our biggest competition is gaming. I don't know. I'm curious like where this goes and how they do it, and I saw a couple people say in the chat when I was doing the timestamps, and I saw the chat, people were saying, I don't think Jim realizes they don't have the technology. The technology for this isn't there. And I'm curious, like, what Netflix's fully plan is and everything like that. We'll see what they do with it. I am curious as well with that. I think we'll see. It seems to be a very weird situation. We also found out, where are we? Oh, the Snake Eyes marketing did a thing where they basically did a sort of robot chicken sort of thing with the G.I. Joe, hey kids, stop all the downloading type of thing for Snake Eyes. It was definitely fun. It was probably the only bit of Snake Eyes marketing. I was like, oh, that had a good sense of humor. I'm into that. So I will agree that was kind of interesting, but it did make me go, okay, I should see it. I have seen every other G.I. Joe movie. I probably will. I think it's going to Paramount Plus at some point, so my fucking lazy ass is gonna wait. I also heard an interesting thing about the G.I. Joe versus Transformers movies. Now, apparently Paramount is not entirely that interested. I'm assuming because the box office difference between a Transformers movie and a G.I. Joe movie is pretty big. I know G.I. Joe and Transformers maybe was at least close to comparable in terms of action figure sales, or toy sales, or however, because I guess Transformers aren't action, whatever they are. Whereas in movies, Transformers makes like $1 billion sometimes, and I don't think G.I. Joe's gotten really close to that. However, Stephen Cable Jr., who is directing the, I guess, Transformers Rise of the Beasts or whatever, apparently did come to the producer of the Transformers G.I. Joe thing and said, why haven't you guys made G.I. Joe versus Transformers, or G.I. Joe and Transformers and stuff? And they said, if you make a good and successful Transformers movie, we'll talk about doing this with you. So apparently he has actually said, and he's working there, he's working with them, making these Transformers movies, that he wants to do one. Apparently they are sort of talking about it. So will it happen soon? I don't know. Some people pointed out that with Tyrese and Josh Duhamel, Is that his name? I don't know. I'm not saying this to make fun. I really don't know or care, so I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Even though I don't care about you, that they're saying their characters are pretty much GI Joe anyway. So why shouldn't you have just put GI Joe characters in there and have them cross over? That would have made more sense. But it is interesting to know that there are directors and stuff who are interesting in this. But I think we'll see. But yeah, GI Joe is kind of a weird franchise. It's also weird that I notice people forget that the '80s one was more about laser guns and Cobra, and it's maybe it's not as patriotic. I remember people liking it because of the lasers and the fighting, not because of the America stuff. I know there's a lot of America stuff in it, but because it takes place in the military industrial complex that is America. But anyway, sorry, I don't know why I got so sleepy. All right, so Modern Magic is a new animation studio that's forming. Is not going to necessarily be family fare. It is by Rodney Rothman and Adam Rosenberg. It is going to be a new studio will likely emphasize on music, inclusion, and fantasy as its tentpoles. Again, much like the Marvel thing, my issue with this, not really an issue necessarily, is just that it's okay, what, that's cool. It sounds, I mean, I'm excited for it, but could you announce a project that? I'm noticing people are announcing studios now, this studio is gonna be amazing. We're gonna make movies with people in it. There's gonna be, these movies are gonna have scripts and they'll be about feeling. And you're wow, that sounds like a great studio. What's the what movie are you gonna make with that? All the best ones. And you're just sitting there what? You guys are cool, but you usually announce a movie. It just, that's gotten weird. Why is that going on now? I don't understand. Did DreamWorks, when they started, did they announce movies? Were they, I don't think, The Peacemakers, their first movie, and I watched that finally a couple years ago, and there's this whole thing where we gotta catch this guy, and then they just walk on cars for a while, and it wasn't I was I feel like you could have walked around. It's this is how DreamWorks started? Weird. Did they announce The Peacemaker? That's really what's gonna do us. It was number one that weekend. Anyway, I've gone way off. So, Your Name has lost. Lee Isaac Chung, the director of Minari, will no longer be involved in the Your Name remake. I'm so confused over what's going on with this film. To my understanding, it was basically put in development because J.J. Abrams was worried Paramount was gonna get super mad at them and kick them out, and then he left anyway. I don't know if it's a real project or if it's an executives trying to look trying to look like they're busy kind of project. I get the vibe it might be either. But, if he wants to leave, I think it's probably for the best. He should get to do whatever he wants next. Minari was a great movie. I really like Minari, man. Minari's a good movie. I hope he gets to do whatever he wants. The Rock and Vin Diesel. Ants is the first animated movie. The first movie is Peacemaker. Just to be clear on that. I know it's different companies. I know. I'm just saying. So Vin Diesel, my man Vinny boy, Vinny Chase as we call him, has commented before that he gave tough love to The Rock to get him to really act. He's the reason he was so good in the Fast and Furious movies, and The Rock has responded by be chilling with Emily Blunt, and Emily Blunt laughed at Vin Diesel, and The Rock laughed at Vin Diesel. And then he said he's not going to be any more Fast and Furious movies, which is devastating because he's my favorite part in those. And I thought, Fast 10, that's double Fast 5. How could we not have The Rock in them? Thanks a lot, Vin. Goddamn, man. Goddamn. It's how could you ruin this for all of us? It's I know Vin Diesel might have worked with more auteurs. He's worked with Spielberg, who The Rock hasn't. He worked on that lawyer movie with, was it Sidney Lumet? That's not even a joke. He's in the Iron Giant. Vin was like in Southland Tales and Fast Five, and I think other movies. And or The Rock. The Rock was in those. So I mean, maybe Vin Diesel knows some stuff. I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe The Rock should. Maybe the Rock didn't really take off till Fast Five. I'm just saying it's within the realm of possibility that Vin Diesel made him better. And getting fucking Emily Blunt to laugh at you. That's cold, The Rock. That's fucking cold. That was too far. That was too far, man. Getting laughed at by Emily Blunt. Not cool. Not cool. Because she's like a real good actress. Like, I know Vin Diesel's a big Devil Wears Prada fan. So you cut him deep, man. I don't know if he's getting back from that. All right. Will said, wonder if the studio will actually start Rodney Rothman's lost film project, The Something. No joke, that's the title. It was this weird sounding animated space comedy with Seth Rogen and a crew. Huh. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm interested in that. I wonder. That's a good call. Cheers to you. Thank you for that. So we have two. That's true. Also, Vin Diesel was in the Street Sharks commercial. This family's a little toxic. Well, it's a family, I guess. We're gonna finish this. We actually have some time. Well, that's good. I need to actually check about Turning Red and Enchanto, so this kind of works out. HBO Max's progress is actually going okay. It got about close to 3 million subscribers. I think HBO Max is actually a really good streaming service. It's one my family uses quite a bit. It has like so many different categories. You kind of can't get bored with it. So I totally understand how it's picking up people. HBO Max apparently is going to make about 10 movies directly for this service. They had no sudden move recently. I'm curious like what these films are going to be directly for the service. But if they have Steven Soderbergh around, and I think they're getting the Zoe Kravitz film, is it Kim, I believe, where she's like observes people's like Alexas or Alexa type things and hears like a horrible thing that happens. I think that sounded interesting. I'm curious what those 10 films will be, but it's interesting that HBO Max, not only are they breaking theatrical windows, but they're making films directly for HBO Max, and I'm hoping they pick more weird, interesting auteur stuff, but we'll see what they do with that. But I guess some of them are DC films, much like Batgirl. So it sounds like they're basically just making Warner Brothers movies, and the ones that they either think will be less profitable, or they can't find a good weekend for, or whatever, will go to HBO Max. So I'm curious what that future is going to be with that. We did also learn the Dune TV show, which I think a lot of people thought was not happening, is got a new showrunner. So it looks like that is happening. That's interesting. Titane. So I didn't know the film that won the Palme d'Or last week. I found out the plot. It's basically about a woman who gets hit by a car and becomes a car show model and has like something in her brain. It's like kind of crazy. And I had a tweet with like a really good, well-worded plot description. Everyone else goes into all this big detail, but it is actually directed by the person who directed Raw, which I previously reviewed. And I tried to review it around Thanksgiving, which was sort of a joke, which I don't think that came across. But it sounds actually really interesting and cool. I'm really curious about that movie. We also I heard about a film called The Kaiju Score. This is interesting. It's being written, or it has been written. It's basically about people who try to do sort of a bank heist while a kaiju attacks the city, which is kind of interesting. Apparently it is like a whole kaiju movie will take place in the background, whereas in the foreground, these people stealing money, which is kind of an interesting idea, I think. I don't know if that's ever been done before. Wow. Okay, yeah, I'll do these and then we'll take a break, actually, believe it or not. So these are a couple of things I didn't talk about last week. Turning Red, is a great trailer, actually. I think it's one of the best trailers I've seen because it gives you kind of a scene from the movie. It gives you some context. It tells you what this movie is about, actually. And then and it gets you in because you're just like sitting there like, oh, this is like a girl. She turns into this big red panda type thing and everything like that. And it definitely like wakes you up to the fact you're like, oh man, I can't believe like it I don't know, it's just like you get the concept, you get the idea, you get the characters, it comes in, comes out, and it doesn't like reveal too much. It just gives you that quick scene. It feels like you got a complete story there. Actually, it's a great trailer. I really do. I really liked it a lot. The Enchanto trailer is interesting. I don't know if I like the concept as much. Basically, like everyone has superpowers except this one person. It didn't feel as special. I'm also like Lin Manuel Miranda. Like, stop doing. Like, is he ever gonna make a musical, or is he just doing movies the rest of his life? I'm curious about that. As well as MJ Rodriguez became the first trans actress to get nominated for Best Actress at the Emmys recently, and that is pretty cool. All right. No, that was a motorcycle. I don't know if you heard that, but anyway. All right. So I'm going to take a quick break. I guess we're not really that ahead because I started early, so it's later. And I want to talk about Master Universe Revelations for a little bit. I'm going to be talking about the first 5 episodes or part 1. When I get back, I don't have a transition-y thing, so I'm just going to get up and I'll be back and all that jazz. And I will wake myself up, hopefully. But after I get back, wow, 67. That's pretty good, HBO Max. Lin-Manuel Miranda should make a musical about gentrification in New York. He probably should. Anyway, I will be right back. I don't think there was any obits this week. Although I listened to a lot of Biz Markie in honor of him, regardless. And yeah, we'll talk about Master Universe, and I will be back in a little bit. All right, cool. See you shortly. Yep. Okay. See, this is the part. Anyway, in the live stream. Yeah. So I got these Scooby-Doo fruit snacks to wake me up. You like my cats? Oh, thank you. Lucy's sleeping. I feel a little more awake. I was getting sleepy. I'm sorry. Stayed up too late making that Quiet Place 2 thing. Got a late start on that. Your favorite is Ill Communication. My favorite, I think, is either Paul's Boutique or Check Your Head or Hello Nasty. Those are kind of the three. Depends on my mood. You know? I think those are the top. Ill Communication's good, though. Oh, I should show you what these are. Anytime I do these with Sophie. You see who that is? We actually have another thing, so don't think I'm... This is Shaggy. This is what... Can you imagine? You're like, I haven't checked out Jim in a while. What are his streams like? And then they come to this part. They do not have Space Jam fruit snacks at our grocery store. That's the person who does the grocery shopping. Tastes like nostalgia. Oh, come on. It doesn't taste that bad. Sorry. Who is this? Oh, this is Scooby. This is Scooby. KWG, your question. Hey Jim, before the pandemic, Mystery Science Theater came to King's Theater in Brooklyn. Did you get a chance to see them on your... I'm not sure what else you're going to say, but yes, I did. There's a review of that thing. I don't know if I'll get to go to the new tour. I didn't actually... It's kind of hard. Okay, I'm feeling more awake now. Sorry. My energy levels are like... I did clean the whole kitchen before, so I don't know. Sometimes you just get tired. This is Daphne. And this is the part during the time-lapse thing that's going to be, like, super weird. Oh, you're leaving. Bye, Untitled Project. Alright. Wonder what an MG... Alright. Thank you, Disco Spider. I think more streams should have a chill Scooby-Doo gummy segment. I'm down for that. Wait, was there weed in the gum? No. No, sorry. I wish. That would be cool, but not during a stream. Alright. So... let's get into it. So, this past week, it came out. I mean, it did come out. This past week, or on Friday, we got Masters of the Universe Revelations. This part 1 only had 5 episodes. I forget. Or has it been revealed when part 2 comes out? If anyone in the chat knows, I didn't see it anywhere. Actually, I did look, but maybe it was revealed recently. But part 1 came out, and this is sort of a review of part 1. Sorry. That was gross, and I apologize. Alright. So I think the elephant in the room with this was advertised one way, and what we got was something different. Now, I think there's kind of this whole argument here that should movie or TV advertising be honest? Should you know what you're getting, basically? And should they deliver that to you? And there is a whole theory of, like, audiences do not like sort of getting tricked. I actually think it's kind of fun. But a lot of people, most modern audiences, do not like that. It's sort of. Olive, what are you doing back there? Get away from the light. Okay. That's Olive back there. Spoilers. Yes, there will probably be some spoilers. So come back in a little bit, or just mute it, and I'll do the wave thing if you would like. Or basically, this is a follow up to the original series, but as I saw some negative. I didn't watch too many negative, creepy reviews of it, but someone who I think his name is Superior Secrets. I forget the YouTube channel, but he does basically toy reviews, and he was a brand manager for Master Universe for a little bit. He was also a fan of Master Universe before he became the brand manager, and he talked about the new show, and he really likes the show and what it does with the characters and everything like that. But he brings up a thing where he didn't like the advertising. He didn't like the idea that basically like, don't say that this is a He-Man show when it's actually a Teela show. Why not just say this was a Teela show? And I sort of, because that's kind of the big twist, is you find out this is not about He-Man, it's about Teela, and people are getting upset about that. Now, I understand there is obviously some very misogynistic, shitty, Kevin Smith ruined He-Man kind of thing. You know, I noticed all these people said Kevin Smith has no integrity. So this was the line, guys. Like the NFT thing, fine, whatever. All the other things, it's just like hi Zodberg. I do not understand that necessarily. But I do get that it upset people that they were being told they're getting one thing and they sort of got it for an episode. It seems like basically it will become what they wanted to the next part of the season, but that's not what they got. I get that being upset that, hey, I thought I was getting this thing, I didn't. I still think it's a good show beyond that. I think the problem with He-Man in general is that you kind of get more things about He-Man and Skeletor, and you don't get to show anybody else really. And this show, you got to basically just do everyone else because they were kind of out of the picture after episode 1, which is also reminds me of 2000s pilots or first episodes where you think the show's going to be one thing. They have a massive switcheroo at the end of the episode, and you're like, wait, what is this show? Like the end of First Friday Night Lights does that. I think there's a couple other shows that do that. It's pretty common. Or if you watch the first episode of, is it Bloodline? No, the one with Ozark. That first episode is insane. My wife was watching it, and I was like, is this the last episode of Ozark? And she's like, no, it's the first one. And I was like, what? And it's like this insane episode. Like, I watched it, and I was like, that's an insane way to set up a show. But it is an insane way for this one. And I think that's not what you get from these type of things. It is a little more challenging. And I've noticed with anything from nostalgia, people who whole lives are like, and they have tons of action figures behind them and stuff like that, get very upset because obviously they don't watch challenging entertainment and don't want to be challenged by storytelling. So they're basically saying like anything that challenges their point of view or changes it is inherently bad because they are not, really like well-educated viewers. They're just consumers and they do consumer report reviews and that's their whole thing. And I guess that's fine. They're just kind of endless, shills for capitalism, and they have no real point of view or any integrity in terms of art and storytelling, and they really shouldn't be reviewing things. But that's just what I think. So Master Universe Revelations, basically, to sum it up, and this is the spoiler part, is that you find He-Man and Skeletor. They have this epic battle. It's like the greatest battle. Olive, you are everywhere tonight. Is the greatest battle you have ever seen in a He-Man cartoon. I would say probably ever. And instead, they basically like kill each other in the end. And Teela finds out that Adam is He-Man she never knew before, and that everything kind of falls apart. She, and then you kind of cut forward and everything has fallen apart and she's kind of on adventures by herself and she's trying to get the sort of power back because without it, the whole universe will fall. Are you going to throw up right there? No, don't. Come on. Oh my God, Olive. Okay, just stay there. Okay, that was wonderful to do on stream. Um, Sorry about that. Cats. She was gonna do it. I don't think you wanted to see that. Are you okay? I'll clean it up, but it's better you put it not on a carpet, huh? Um, uh, anyway, cats have hairballs. And they're just gonna hang out next to the lights. You've been a little interesting today. Um, all right. So basically, everything that Tila has led to believe in her safe world has been changed, and she's upset about it. Oh man, it's almost like the people who are upset at this show are Tila. Whoa. Anywho, so she has to match up with Evil Lynn and figure this out, basically. And there's a whole thing at the end that I don't want to get into, but I actually really like this. I was a little my deal with Master Universe. I don't know if I've talked about it or anything before. Is my parents are like were like yuppies and stuff, and they weren't like into me watching violent animation because they're like we're hippies, and they it's like if we don't let our kid watch violent cartoons, they'll be the better for it. And then they realized that was a terrible idea, and I had nothing to talk about anyone with because all I watched was Sesame Street, which is fine, but you can watch other stuff too. And they let me watch He-Man, and I became obsessed with He-Man. And I saw the original in theaters, which my mom took me to because she's a cool mom. The only thing I really remember about that movie is that I really liked it. Everyone laughed at the woman at arms joke, which they didn't do in the show, which is like my biggest complaint, as well as everyone was way taller than me. I remember that. But I like what they did with the show because it challenged it. It did something new with the franchise. I do think each reboot tries to change things up. If you follow the whole continuity of reboots, like the New Adventures of He-Man was probably one of the most radical up to this one, where He-Man and Skeletor go to like a different dimension or whatever. We also got the 2002 one, which I don't remember and watched a lot of like my first couple of years of college, but like I do not remember it at all. And this one sort of does the same thing, but it goes more into the other characters of the world. The thing is about Master Universe, it was called Master Universe and not He-Man, to be fair, but there's like such a road scale, or such a good collection of characters and vehicles and all that stuff that it actually like sort of makes sense to do a show without He-Man in this. I do agree, and the guy who did that, and I will have him actually linked in the description because I'm mentioning him so much, brings up that like they should have just said it was a Tila show, and they wouldn't have had to deal with all this. And then because there is another He-Man thing happening, Netflix is doing other He-Man stuff, it would have actually made a little more sense had they done it the correct way rather than kind of like mess with the fans in a way. It was I think that didn't necessarily work. I liked all the references in it. I like the idea that Henry Rollins plays this. Henry Rollins is in this. I don't think no one's really talked about that. He plays like a robotic preacher because this whole idea of like science and technology should rise up as magic is falling, which is like an interesting way to take it. It really is kind of a way someone really actually thought about the iconography of He-Man Master Universe and did interesting things with it. I think it does try to challenge you in a way. It is kind of like a Master Universe show made for the little kids who were, I was like very little, 3 or 4, but there are people up to like 10, 12 who are into this thing, and now that we're like in middle age pretty much, it's more for people in that. I liked everything they did from like the Tila character, especially, who's voiced by Sarah Michelle Gellar. Mark Hamill's Skeletor is amazing. Eva Lynn, who is voiced by, I forget her name, but she was on Game of Thrones. She's really great. They do a lot of great things with the iconography and the characters and the IP and make it kind of like this fully fleshed out, interesting world. It is sort of like the same idea as the Thundercats reboot. Like, let's take Thundercats and make it into this ever expanding, like sort of almost Avatar-esque kind of story. And I guess that's what they're doing here. But it seems like they're saying more about tradition and generations and the idea of hiding. Like I haven't seen too many things like re-examine a hero and talk about the idea of like you're friends with someone and they have a secret identity, and you've lived under the eyes of like she's lived with like and fought with He-Man so many times that she doesn't know who he really is, and that is an interesting dynamic to play with. And I actually like what they're doing. Thank you, Ryan, Leah Hetty, whatever, Lena Hetty, whatever. Uh, I like the idea of what they're playing with here because it's an interesting idea to take the idea of He-Man, to take the idea of these characters and turn them on its head. This might be a little more radical than what She-Ra, because She-Ra is like completely different, like isn't playing with the iconography. This is, which the New Adventures of He-Man actually did. It is a direct follow-up, direct sequel to the original classic show. The classic show was kind of garbage. They couldn't be as violent. They just like did silly things. It was really stupid in certain degrees. It was well designed. It's sort of like a little kid's heavy metal magazine kind of Frank Frazetta Conan thing, which I know they took designs from Conan and made it into He-Man supposedly or whatever. I I really I really like this show. I was really into it. I was surprised. It goes down very easily. Like I watch these very quickly one after the other. And I was surprised I did. I didn't think I would get as into it. Like I was like, oh, I don't know. Can I keep going down this road? I've watched every single one of these shows. And you know, I've been liking this since I was a little kid. Can I get into this again? And even though it is still the same toy commercial it ever was, it's almost like makes you want to re-examine those old toys or the second line in the 2000s or something like that. I had a good time with it. It got the characters, it got what was so great about them, it got that whole universe. It is sort of the best like fantasy sci-fi hybrid, I think, in the post Star Wars world that isn't Star Wars. Um, but it I think, oh, are people mad He-Man didn't do a PSA? I haven't seen anyone say that, but yeah, cheers to you. Austin. Jordan Slovo was just talking about Todd in the Shadows, apparently. Oh, good night, Giacomina Super Drive Minion. I think this is a great show. I think if you like Master Universe and grew up with it, give it a chance. I understand, actually, if people are a little upset because it isn't what you signed up for. And I think, like, this isn't the show with all its nostalgia that you're looking for a challenge with. But I think it takes the IP and the characters and the world into an interesting place. And I'm super excited to see part two. I'm really curious. Maybe I'll review a part two, see where we're going with there. But I think it's really interesting. It's also interesting what we're doing with these characters who, both He-Man and She-Ra, who are sort of almost disregarded and weren't given the big screen adaptations like a Transformers or something, and they're able to free themselves kind of their iconography and make, you know, kind of really interesting statements and interesting things with these characters. And I really like that about both these things. I think this shares a lot of interesting ideas. With She-Ra, the difference is this is taking the classic stuff and pushing it into an interesting, weird direction that we've kind of never seen before. So I really hope I like what they did with Orko even. Especially the kind of heaven dimension and all the He-Man references, other He-Man variant references, Wonder Bread He-Man makes in here. It's cool, all the reference, and it doesn't do it it doesn't do it in a way that feels like it's over referencing or being like, did you get it? If it does it in a very natural way, or at least I thought. I would recommend this show if you like kind of fantasy, sci-fi, and stuff. But I would also, like, if you're a fan of the original Master Universe, I think you'll like where it pushes it. It pushes it in an interesting way. I thought Kevin Smith did a good job. I don't think he failed my childhood. He did that with his own material, not with He-Man, so it's fine. I would say that this is a worthy follow-up for the show, and it's an interesting place to put it. It's a franchise that I thought I was just going to watch and like watch a few episodes and be like, oh yeah, that's He-Man, but it's violent. And it actually was thought-provoking. It made me think about the ideas of like religion even, and taking this franchise and the idea of secret identities and what that would really mean in real life and all those things. It's actually thought-provoking, and I don't think that's something you ever thought you'd hear from a show and a franchise like Masters of the Universe. Okay, we are done. Actually, I forgot who versed Orko. I forgot Who should go first? Let's do Austin should go last of the questions, and hopefully we can get everybody's question tonight. Let's try to do that in the penultimate movie crap live. But Jordan Bouchard asks, this is a good question. He has asked this 2 shows in a row, but I said it was cool, by the way. But it's a good question. Says, what have you recently finished watching or currently watching, and what are you going to start watching next? I obviously watched Master Universe Revelations. I'm watching I May Destroy You, which, much like what happened with me at Kim's Convenience, I had heard a little about it, but then when they get cast in the Marvel movie, a lot of podcasts I'm listening to talk about it even more. And so that was really good. I'm finishing Kim's Convenience. I'm not done with that. I'm watching the 39 Steps, Hitchcock's film, because TCM is on HBO Max, which I really like. I've sort of just gone there and find a classic film sometimes and just pick it. And I think I saw 39 Steps when I was like 11 or something, so I don't remember it. But man, that is like such a MacGuffin kind of movie where like I don't think you even understand what the fuck 39 Steps are, but it's like it's like moves in such a way. It's like it's really inviting. I think it's British Hitchcock film, but it really moves. And I watched Inside Bo Burnham. I like that a lot. It's a little messy. The first 3 or 4 songs I really like, and the Internet song and the Bezos songs, but it's just a little all over the place, although he admits it's going to be that. But I think that's everything. And Looney Tunes shorts with Soph. We've been doing that a little bit. So, and Happy Feet. I talked about Happy Feet. And I watched Penguins of Madagascar, which has an insane, like, they go from one plane to another, and it's like a single shot. That was insane. But they also have this dumb joke where they're like the octopus, who's voiced by John Malkovich, has all these dumb jokes where he's like, Hugh, the character's name's Hugh, and his others are like Hugh Jackman, and like he'll keep saying like one octopus's name and they'll connect to be a celebrity's name, and I don't know why they did that. And it's a joke that doesn't even make sense, and like they did it like a lot, and it was like this reoccurring joke, and it was like really lame and weird, and it was a better movie than I thought it would be. But anyway, Nathaniel Foga asks, what was your first experience listening to a podcast? I think it was the IFC podcast with Alison Wilmore and Matt Singer. Might have been the first one, and I listened to it on a computer, not walking around. And I remember enjoying it, and they went on for a while. They just in the last couple of years stopped that podcast, which sucks because they had a good chemistry together. Is Nathaniel Foga's second question is, did you ever have a reputation that the other kids knew you or when you used to go to school? I guess being funny or chill or knowing too much about comics. Those were like my main things. Austin asks, question for Movie Crap. Holy guacamole, what a fantastic movie crap tonight. We saw Tom Cruise and Limp Bizkit team up and rap that song from Mission Impossible 2. Jim grew wings from Red Bull, and part 2 of the interview. It will be done soon. Sorry it took me so long. Question with He-Man out this week with Herman. Do you think Thunder the Barbarian and the Hercules will ever make a comeback? The Hercules were in Space Jam 2, so I think that's a possibility. I don't know who owns Thunder. I think Warner's, so maybe them as well. Wow, there's a lot of questions. You know how before I said I'd get to everything? Was there one before? Okay, Zane Powers is first. But yeah, I think it's a possibility because I heard people actually talk about the Hercules because of Space Jam. So anyway, it sort of worked. Actually, I learned also that Ken Russell, The Devils, we found out Space Jam 2 was released 70 years to the day that Ken Russell's The Devils, which is referenced in Space Jam, if you didn't know about that, came out, which is a bizarre set of circumstances. But I'm going to take some Red Bull because I want to get through this. Zade Powers, question. It's 2021. You've been tasked with making the sequel to the Masters of the Universe movie from the 80s. What do you do? It's all in Eternia. Is Frank Langella still alive? Yes. He's Skeletor again, or at least he voices him. This time Orko is back, but Orko and that weird thing are weird. And then in it, Courtney Cox comes back and is an awesome warrior person. That's all I got. Um, that's true, Jordan Staloffalo, about One Hit Wonderland. Cornbread. So I know a lot of people are upset at Master Universe Revelations for a lot of pathetic reasons, but did it bother you how many classic villains were absent, like Mosquitor or Cantina or Wolfman? It didn't, because they had like so many interesting characters. I was sort of fine with what was going on, to be honest with you. So, Sunspot Mill. Did you know that Taco Bell went anime? The manga was better though. No, seriously? No, I confused by that, but sure. Ryan Walterson said Griffin Newman was Orko, who also played Arthur on the Tick. Oh, I didn't know that. Or the Amazon Tick. Nathaniel Foga, how did you discover they might be giants? Tiny Toons, Tiny Toon Adventures. Sunspot Mill, how do you feel about a Looney Tunes back in action sequel? I think it would be cool. I've heard a lot more people wanting to show back in action to their kids after how shitty Space Jam was. Major Makazawa, did your deep focus video on regular show get a copyright strike? I was wondering what happened to it. Yeah, I think I talked about this. It was basically like you couldn't search for it for a little bit, and you couldn't find it unless you saw it on the deep focus playlist. And then Warner Brothers took it down. Basically, when I tried to fight it when close enough, I was like, I wanted more people to see it, so I thought there'd be more talk regular show, and we tried to fight it, and they're basically like, and I brought up, it was like JG Quintel retweeted it, other people who worked on regular show liked that video, so I was like, hey, I don't think I'm like stealing or anything, I think it's like positive things, but they took it down, so I don't know, I've thought of releasing that on another medium at some point. I haven't looked into it. At some point, it'll come out again. I have it on a drive somewhere. But it sort of sucks. I wish they hadn't done that. But, yeah, I had like a copyright strike for a little bit because of it. And it just sucked because I really like that video. But, yeah, Warner Brothers basically wouldn't let me have it anymore. So it was there until... It's been about a year since it's been gone, so which stinks. But you couldn't, it like barely would come up in search because they had previously done it. So it was like it didn't have the best life after a certain point. It wasn't getting pushed as much because of that, and it stinks. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I can come up with a new one, but Austin, favorite new Looney Tune short. I would say actually the one with Bugs and the Mummy is really good. Bugs on the Roller Coaster, which I think I reviewed, was really good. Sylvester and Tweety, the Ghost one with Tweety was good. That's just what I can think of in my head. I'll just say those ones. It's very loose what I just did. Bruce Parker, what is going to be the plot of Gotti 2, which is happening? Really? He's a ghost. Is he dead? If not, he's a ghost. They're on Mars as ghosts. Nathaniel Fogel, what's the show you go and off when binging? What? You go on, I guess you go on and off when binging, I guess? I'm confused. Friends, maybe? I'm not sure. Question, I got nothing. Nice, Adrian Sarah. Not plausible. In honor of the Olympics, what event would Creech compete in? What about all the other movie memes like Paul Blart? Paul Blart would be in shot put, and Creech would do skateboarding. Zane Powers, do you have to deal with your coworkers complaining about masks and conspiracies, creating fear for vaccines to make money? No, I don't work with anyone like that, thankfully. What was the first time you got high? I think it was like 17, something like that. Yeah. Embla T, did the Dune trailer made you laugh with its jokes? It was okay. You seemed to bother you. I thought it was fine. It made it at least look a little better. Favorite Dario Argento film? Once Upon a Time in the West. Medela Butterfly. Any news on live action He-Man? I don't think so. I would say that's dead forever. I think it's just anime is a better place for it anyway. You could never, unless you got like the Wachowskis or Wachowski now. I forget. Since it's only one of them, that's what I mean. Or directing, or maybe the other Wachowski could do it. They could do it. After Jupiter Ascending, come on. Cat Box 158. What would you name your newborn child if you were forced to name him after a cartoon character? Felix, maybe? Purple Goop. Favorite G.I. Joe member. Snake Eyes was up there. Thanks. I used to like Duke when I was a kid and his like younger brother. Maybe like one of the new recruits in the movie. I forget. Is He-Man too woke? No, he's woke enough. Sunspot Mill. If you learn that your favorite or specialized sport hobby activity suddenly gets added into the next Olympics, like skateboarding and cheerleading, would you join it? No, I actually don't like the Olympics because I think financially they're irresponsible for any city to have, and I think a lot of these sports should just be covered at different times throughout the year, not in this one special event that financially bankrupts cities. I don't like supporting it because I don't think it's a financially responsible event, but that's just my own thing. All right, sorry. Question: Pig or old? I'll probably see Pig. I don't know if I'll see old. I know what the twist is and it sounded kind of lame. Doesn't sound as horrifying, but I'm not into doing that right now. Even though a couple of people were like, "But you saw amusement park though." Like that's horrific. That's like really horrifying. Like why? And I was like, I guess I don't have an answer for that. It just I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. That is a fair point, I will say. I guess it's like I'll put up with George Romero fucking with me. I won't put up with M. Night, maybe. I don't know. You ever wonder why Francis Ford Coppola directed Jack? I'm sure it had to do with money. Adrian Sierra's still got nothing. Zane Powers, how do you feel knowing your son will help elect cops into president? Oh my god, yeah, I forgot about Jim Shoot. I hope he never sees that. I should do it again though. Maybe last stream. We'll see. What possessed people into think that Austin Powers was really funny in the 90s? Man, little kids, I'm not even joking. I babysat kids at the time. Little kids would say, "Do I make you horny, baby?" And they'd be like 7, and I'd be sitting there like, this is cool. This is society thinks this is okay. And like everyone would laugh, and I'd be like, this is not funny. The 90s are a disease. Like, people wonder, like, why are you that nostalgic for the 90s? If you were there, motherfucker, you would be like, by December 99, you'd be like, I'm sick of this bullshit. I'm going to be honest with you there. Toon J723, thoughts on the 1994 Fantastic Four cartoon and Johnny Storr's rap song. I've seen most of it. We used to tape it and I loved it. I remember really liking it. I don't know if it holds up. I haven't watched it since. I did not know about Johnny Storr's rap song and I don't remember it, but it sounds like that show. With next week possibly being my last week to correctly predict the thumbnail, what do you think my chances of actually getting it right are? You know what, Cornbread? I think it's a 10. I think you're going to get it. Do your cats, this is not plausible, do your cats do that thing where they run around at 3 a.m.? Yeah, they do. Sunspot Mel, every cat does that. Mac or cheese? Cheese. Zane Powers, what's that song, if played in your ear all day, would drive you insane? Oh. I don't know. I think any song at a point you would get annoying because it would hurt, right? Favorite Marvin the Martian theme Looney Tunes short? I think the first Duck Dodgers probably. Can you finally dab before you end movie? No, I will never dab. I refuse. Oh, Jesus. Did I miss? There's a lot of these. I don't know if we'll get all these. Overambitious there. Favorite thoughts on Jesse Ventura? I don't have much. I think he was funny in the 90s, but he's clearly not funny anymore. Notification, other than Howard the Duck, what do you think would make a good animated movie? I think Dazzler cartoon in the style of Gem would be cool. Yes, that would be cool. MODOK did work out. Power Pack probably. I know they've been wanting to do Power Pack forever. Favorite Zane Powers question? Anything to do with like about the cops is usually up there. Do we need more women doing slapstick? Mandela Butterfly. Yes, we need more slapstick in general. Favorite Austin question for Zane Powers? Oh, you guys are fun. Man, whatever he did in that interview, he did a good job. I'm excited for the next part 2 to come out. He did a good job in his interview, I gotta say. When are we getting an unnecessary movie crap vanity project movie? Oh, that's what I'm going to be working on. I'm going to be on Movie Crap Live the movie, and I'll be in a desert for some. See, here's the thing. If I could make a YouTube movie, every YouTuber wants to make like a crossover thing, like it's an annual and a comic. Y'all are basic. I don't want to do that shit. If I was doing it, do you ever hear the Monkeys movie Head? That's what I would do. It wouldn't make any sense. It would be weird. You'd be like, this is nothing like Movie Crap Live. Why did you even call it this? It would upset everyone, and it'd be an hour long. Like that. That would be 100%. If you've ever seen The Monkey's Head, that is like 100% what I would do. All these people like Suburban Nights, bullshit. I would get a bunch of dumb people high in a room and we'd film everything they said, which oddly no one making Nostalgia Critic did, and it's like, God, it's so awful. Anyway, when are we okay? Favorite cornbread Katana Wolfman fun fact. Oh my god, I can't remember some of these and I'm a little tired, so I don't know. But the idea of Katana Wolfman is pretty funny. Zane Powers, how do you feel about Rick and Morty saying eco protection can go too far when Dan Harmon is making that NFT series? Yeah, that's totally true. And I totally did not steal that observation from Cornbread. I'm a little behind on Rick and Morty, but I don't agree with that. The eco protection, because I'm like the Earth is like dying, so I think like anything at this point is good. So, Cornbread, will we have to live the next 5 years listening to "It Subverted Our Expectations" show criticism for the new Master Universe series, like how we did forever with The Last Jedi? Probably, because people are annoying. Embla T, if Jeff Bezos got struck by cosmic rays, what would his powers be? Dying of cancer. Nathaniel Fogo, what would be the plot of a Knockforce biopic about? Us making a cartoon, I guess. That's what it would just be, us making the first couple of quickies. Question: seen the Naked Man starring Michael Rappaport in 1998? That should get a remake, but can anyone really replace Michael Rappaport? No, I don't think they could. If all the billionaires left the planet, wouldn't it be better because they aren't mucking things up anymore? I would agree, that would be better. Thoughts on Franklin Jello in Joe Dante's Small Soldiers? I haven't seen Small Soldiers in a long time, so I don't think I haven't seen Small Soldiers, so I can't say anything. When will we discover your Flintstones reboot? Oh, it's coming. What about Skunkor? Skunkor's in it. He was in the new one, I thought. Wasn't he? There was a skunk guy in it. Oh, did I lose my... how about this? Nicktoons revival of Brock. Isn't that a revolutionary way of thinking? Nice, St. Powers. How would you feel about a cut of a new Legacy that had 2D animation in it? No, I still think it would be bad. Are you getting Windows 11? I don't have a Windows computer, so no. What would you main in the Nick Smash game? I guess Snippy. I always like Snippy. I'm sorry. Thanks for all the fun times on here if I can't make it next week. Oh, thank you, Not Plausible. How do you feel about Jason Mewes playing Skunkor? I didn't realize that was him, but he did a good job. He's stinky enough. Will you ever pronounce my name right? Absolutely, Adrian Dizalgi. Guy Denzig. Damn it. When will Nintendo stop being so shitty with their policies? I have no clue what you're talking about, but hopefully soon, maybe. I don't know. What are Warner Brothers IP that are utterly baffling, didn't show up in Space Jam? For me, it has to be Tom and Jerry. That's true. And I would say Cartoon Network. I would say, where's Aqua Teen? Like, I think Aqua Teen would have been a good choice. I don't understand. Cineram, I just got home. If you could rig your stereo to play one song automatically when you walk in the door, what song would it be? We Are Houdini. That would be cool. What Olympic sport would you dominate in? Sleeping? This is a lot of questions. Cornbread, it is. Zodberg, can we call this the end of season 1 of Movie Crap? Sure. Do you get tired of seeing anti-smoking or vaping ads all the time? No, it doesn't bother me. Rebel Taxi. Wow, I didn't see you there. Austin Powers 2 was my last drive-in movie, also Wild Wild West. Oh my god. I can't believe Pan did that. That's interesting. Reminder of that time Johnny Maxwell did a film on Action Park. I do remember that. Did anyone see it? Thoughts on the G.I. Joe YouTube poop? I don't have any thoughts on that. Wait, we said question something cops. Cheers, Zane Powers. Oh, I'm going to fix the plot hole. Haha. Let's find a question by someone. Well, it's cool that Pan was here. Let's find a question. What's your favorite genre of movie? Probably old. Favorite Nathaniel Fogo question. I like the first listening to podcast question. Is Nope Cloud Atlas? That's not. I like that, Cornbread. That was good. What would happen if you fell asleep during one of those? I didn't, but I did when in one forever ago, which I don't know what happened to that, but I did like in when I was at BronyCon, I did a stream that night and I fell asleep wherever that is. Someone was released it, and I woke up and like, and no one noticed apparently. Is that it? That's crazy that Pan was here. All right. Or it's Houdini, like W, the rap group. It's like we are Houdini. Okay. Mandela Butterfly. This is only season 1 of Movie Crap. Was that your question? I thought I answered it. Okay. I thought I did. Now I just want to know if I did Mandela Butterfly's question now. That's all that matters. Did I? I thought it was like, can we call this favorite Izzy cameo? Oh man, I hope nobody tried to call tonight because I'm doing the time lapse thing. So, all right, I think that's it. I think we're good for now. I will see you all next time for the last. Oh, Pan's still here. Hey, Pan. I will see you all next week for the last stream for a while because of the baby stuff. I want to thank you all. Oh, will the finale next week be a clip show? No. It won't. I'll probably just do the movie news stuff. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for a segment. I have some ideas, but I don't want to reveal them in case I don't do them. But we'll see. Oh, I answered the live action thing. I thought I did. What I would do, I thought I did. Anyway, choose to use aim powers. We killed both Red Bulls. I should go to bed. We did a pretty long show. But I feel like this was a good show. Thank you all for staying with me. Thanks for Pan for being here. Thank you, Time-Lapse Camera. You'll see that later in the week. I'm not sure when. There'll be a movie review vote Monday or Wednesday. I'm not sure which. And there'll be lots of videos. I think I'll finally do my No Sudden Move review as well as the one who won the movie review vote. Anyway, somebody edited a clip show. Anyway, thank you all for being here. I hope you all can make it next week. If you cannot, that is cool too. But thank you, anyone who's watched and everything like that. Make sure you subscribe for notifications and stuff because I do instant premieres. And if you want to hang out and chat with me, you can. Oh, and I fell asleep during the Space Jam chat. I did fall asleep during that. So I guess the thing is, I do fall asleep during things because I fell asleep during the instant premiere of Space Jam and I woke up like 20 minutes later. And nobody seemed to notice or call me out on it, which was good. Anyway, I will see you all next week for the final movie crap of 2021, most likely, or of the regular ones. And thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being good. And you all have a good night. And subscribe if you would like to. See you next time.